They thought winter would break me, that if they hit me with enough fines, cut my fuel, and lock the only road out, I'd just give up and fold. But when the HOA president herself broke into my survival shelter during a blizzard, when most folks would have panicked, I didn't. I locked her inside and called the sheriff. See, I'm not some pushover. I'm a retired investigator. I came to this valley for peace, for a fresh start for my daughter, because Sophie's lungs can't handle the cold unless the heat's steady. You can imagine how I felt when the HOA started drowning us in fake violations, phony votes, even tried to slap illegal liens on my land. But I did what I was trained to do. I built the case, gathered footage, and what I found. Well, it was a whole RICO-style fraud operation hiding behind aesthetic rules. This story, it's not just about snow and sabotage. It's about what happens when systems get twisted, when standing your ground means everything. You ever hear the sound of wood splintering in the middle of a Montana winter, with snow drifts piled 6 feet high against your barn? Everything's so cold, even the coyotes go quiet. That's how it started for me, the sharp crack of a crowbar in the dawn, then the flash of camera. I threw on my boots, gloves half on, heart pounding, and yanked open my interior hatch. The cold stabbed at me, but I didn't flinch. There she was, Karen, president of the Oak Summit HOA, her red pea coat bright against the blue snow, clipboard flashing, one boot halfway inside my shelter, the very one I built with my own hands and insulated tight before the first frost. Crowbar on the ground like it hadn't just pried through my lock. Karen didn't even look rattled. She just waved her phone. "I've already documented the infraction," she says like she's the law. Claims my shelter violates Section 4B, exterior uniformity. I tell her flat out, she broke in. She just smirks, says she's inspecting. Then she starts rattling off every petty thing she can see. Fuel cans, tarps, all of it like my survival supplies are some criminal act. There's no street here, I remind her. Just a private drive, and my shelter is legal, grandfathered in, zoning code and all. She cuts me off, says I was notified, holds out some snow-stained paper that's supposedly a vote to expand HOA enforcement. Except I know half the folks listed don't even live here anymore. She's trespassing, I tell her. She just shrugs, circles something on her phone's map, calls my place part of a common view aesthetic corridor. I almost laughed, fighting over aesthetics with a blizzard coming down and my daughter's life, depending on heat. But Karen wasn't here to argue logic. She starts peeling back tarps, snapping photos of my backup propane tanks, calling it illegal fuel storage. That was it for me. I stepped out, circled around, and locked the secondary latch behind her. Reinforced storm latch. She wasn't going anywhere. Her voice behind the door was shrill, muffled by wood and insulation. "You can't do this." But I could, and I had. Back in the house, I called the sheriff. Landline, because my cell's useless when the weather turns. "This is Owen Richter. I've got a trespasser locked in my storage shelter. She's unharmed. I need a unit dispatched." The dispatcher said 30 minutes. The roads were bad. By then, snow had started again, the heavy flakes that bury power lines and close downtowns. But I was ready. Had to be. And now, the person trying hardest to sabotage those preparations was stuck inside the very shelter she tried to have torn down. Winter wasn't the only thing coming for us. There was a time I lived in a world of sirens and city lights, back when I was Detective Owen Richter, Narcotics Task Force. Coffee, court filings, wiretaps, you know the life. But one crooked DA, one bad wire, and suddenly the heat was on me, and the badge wasn't worth the stress. I took my pension, grabbed my daughter, and walked away. Sophie was 10 when her lungs first gave out. We spent that year bouncing between hospitals, looking for clean air. This little valley in northern Montana, it was a miracle. Clean, dry air, far enough from town to be quiet, close enough for help if you needed it. I bought a strange parcel, sloping down toward a wind basin, but it came with decontrol over a 1950s root cellar, later upgraded by the Forest Service, legal survival infrastructure. I called it the Winter Spine. Every year, I improved it. Solar vents, insulation, racks for wood and medical gear, even 2 weeks of oxygen reserves. Out here, you don't get second chances in a blizzard. But Karen? She showed up last spring with pearls and perfume to a land auction, bought Lot 3 with a family loan, started telling folks the valley was a blank canvas. My shelter, in her eyes, was just rustic clutter. She called it a prepper hole. I ignored her at first, but winter's got a rhythm you don't break. By December, Sophie's health was finally stable. We homeschooled, kept the house above 63 degrees, humidity below 30. Thought we were safe until the first HOA notice, bright pink, stuck to my woodshed like a parking ticket. Unauthorized structure, remove or face fines. No signature, just the Oak Summit Aesthetic Review Subcommittee, a group that didn't even exist on county records. So I started documenting, because old habits don't die. Trail cams by the fuel drums, every permit number photographed, county deeds highlighted. By January, the fines kept coming. Karen showed up with tea and new bylaws, smiling like this was just neighborly business. Said some folks were uncomfortable with my shelter. I told her, my daughter's lungs depend on this message. She walked away, and I knew it wasn't about aesthetics. It was about control. The next notice had a photo, my vent cap circled in red, visual disruption. That vent wasn't just a pipe. It kept the carbon dioxide from building up. If it failed, Sophie could be in danger in hours. But the board didn't care. 10 days to fix or $500 per day. I called, I emailed, attached specs, a doctor's note. No response. Another notice, this one frozen to the door, glued so tight I needed a chisel. By now, Karen was running the show, passing amendments through proxy votes and online surveys. No oversight, just friends signing each other's papers. I took it to the monthly meeting, laid out my evidence in the model home's garage. Karen stood at the front like a CEO, lipstick perfect, clipboard ready. I said my piece, showed the documentation, the medical need. She just smiled, talking about cohesion and predictability. A neighbor piped up, I thought we were a voluntary HOA. Karen snapped back. The vote had passed by proxy. I turned to the room. No one had seen those proxy forms. It was all a sham. That night, muddy footprints at my back gate, latch jimmied. Just a warning. So I installed more cameras, hid them high, set silent alerts. Karen's car, black SUV, California plates, came by more and more. Then came the big one, a certified envelope with a $6,250 bill. Every supposed violation, each with a date, a photo, a fee. It wasn't about the rules. It was about exhausting me, hoping I'd give in. But that's not how I'm wired. The real scare came when I found my fuel tanks tampered with. Seals sliced clean, nothing stolen, just compromised. The cameras caught a hooded figure at 2:43 a.m., small build, quick, knew right where to go. I reported it, but winter's hard on law enforcement too. So I upgraded everything, locks, bolts, cameras, backup systems. When another letter came, this time from Community Compliance Enforcement Solutions, LLC, threatening a lien, I actually laughed. My deed predated the HOA by 12 years. My land was zoned agricultural, not residential. They had no authority, but they could still try to tie me up in court, drain my savings. I built my case piece by piece, documented every fake citation, every phony vote, every photo taken while trespassing. Then the sabotage got real. One night, the heater failed. Not an accident. Main fuel line's gasket was cut, exactly enough to stop the flow, but not start a fire. I got heat back just in time. The cameras caught a figure, slim, mid-height, moving with purpose, a metallic HOA pin on the collar. Karen's signature accessory. That was the final straw. I took my evidence to the sheriff and contacted my old friend in the state attorney's office. This was organized fraud, plain and simple. Then the blizzard hit for real. Satellite radio died, snow sideways, wind howling, visibility zero. I went out to check the only road out, blocked by a new gate, padlocked, zip-tied, camera blinking at me. Private road, closed for community safety, by order of Oak Summit HOA. My daughter started wheezing again. Insulation couldn't keep up, heaters ran dry. Turns out, the backup tanks had been siphoned too. This was war, no other word for it. I uploaded every scrap of evidence to my secure drive, called Deputy Mara Jordan, A real cop, one who still cared. She promised to talk to the county, get the gate open. That night, with the wind screaming and heat running out, I heard someone in the spine. Rifle ready, I opened the hatch. Turns out it was Karen, soaked, shivering, begging for fuel. Her own heater had failed. She tried to step toward my supplies, but I blocked her. This isn't just fuel, I told her. It's survival, and you try to take that from us. She collapsed. I gave her a blanket, left her in the shelter, and locked the hatch. I wasn't risking my daughter's life for Karen's pride. When the storm cleared, the sheriff's cruiser arrived, plow in front. They took Karen away, pending charges. I handed them my file, Oak Summit systemic fraud, criminal endangerment. The wind calmed, but the roadblock was still there. The sheriff promised to clear it, but winter emergencies take priority. That night, 3 men came creeping around. No HOA badges, but they tried to finish what Karen started. I scared them off, got their faces and plates on camera, sent it all to Mara and Shane. The county issued a restraining order. No HOA affiliate could come within 500 feet of my property. The real lesson came after. When the snow started to melt and I walked the ridge, I realized Karen's crew had dug a beautification swale that would send runoff right into the lower valley homes. Nature doesn't care about paperwork. It remembers. I opened the old forestry gate, let the water flow safely, and watched the valley return to life. The court case was something else. Karen tried to hide behind lawyers and emergency bylaws, but we had the evidence: phony votes, fake violations, financial fraud. Witnesses came forward, even those who'd been pressured to sign off on her scheme. The judge saw right through it, ordered Karen to cease all HOA activities, referred her for prosecution. County investigators uncovered years of fraud, $138,000 in bogus improvements, a secret fund, contracts for friends and family. Spring came late, but it did come. The gate was hauled out, the signs taken down. Neighbors who'd kept their distance before now brought food, tools, help. Sophie grew stronger, house warmer. Maybe it was new insulation, maybe it was just finally being at peace. The HOA dissolved for good. Karen vanished, but her empire was gone. The valley rebuilt, and we did too. Solar upgrades, new vent seals, a direct line to county emergency services. On the entry hatch of the spine, I put a small plaque, for those who prepare anyway. You want a moral? Sometimes standing your ground isn't about defiance, it's about resilience, about planning, adapting, and refusing to be erased when power gets abused. Justice doesn't always come with celebration. Sometimes it's just a quiet, steady warmth after the cold. And sometimes when the next storm comes, you find out you're not just surviving, you're free. So, let me ask you, where do you draw the line between order and abuse? When does enforcing the rules become something darker? And if you've ever been caught in the middle, what did you do? I want to hear your story. Drop your thoughts. Tell me your own battle with authority or how you handled someone trying to bury you in paperwork and ice. Justice isn't a given, but sometimes, just sometimes, karma hits right on time.